Hey, everybody. We're a minute or so behind, but we're trying. You're going to hear some dishes going in the background. The girls are going to have to finish cleaning up from supper. And
it's actually flooding.
Yeah, it is raining outside.
We need the rain.
But we pulled dessert out just in time to get started, so I'm having to eat my dessert over here.
Well, it won't take you long. You like that. Well, hello, everybody.
Strawberry cheesecake tonight.
Mimsy, how are you? Diane at Justice Acres, what's going on? Homestead, Engraving Business and Life. Salon girls, thank y'all for coming on.
Absolutely. So whose garden is playing out and whose is just now producing? Hey, Grammy Karen.
Hey, Grammy Karen.
Glad
hey,
to have you back again tonight.
Hey, Molly.
Ours is.
I don't know if y'all can see that.
Ours
is absolutely
starting
flooding
to play
out there.
I don't think I can see that.
You
might just be making them
dizzy. It wasn't even supposed to rain today, so I'm glad we're getting some rain. We need these afternoon summer showers are exactly what we need. Stacy, are y'all getting rain down there?
Salon girls have picked the last of the tomatoes.
Hey, Donna Caswell from Michigan. Hello, how are you? Is the weather better than 104 heat index today up there? Hey, Miss Cecilia. Yeah, we usually eat a little earlier, especially on Wednesdays.
I just couldn't get it all done fast enough tonight.
Well, the world's going crazy, so we had some shopping we had to get done in town. It
y'all,
seems like
finding cans, it's like impossible.
Hey, Organic Raw Root Farm.
And I went to like 9 stores today.
And we all got used cans.
And I did find the half pints and the pints packs, but that was it. 1 pack of each, and that was it as far as can and jars go. So I made a post on Facebook, and a really sweet lady that lives down the road from us bought a farmhouse, and they have lived there for like 5 or 6 years now.
There's some goat and a few cow.
Yeah, and some chickens and stuff. And she was saying that whenever they moved into the farmhouse, that behind the farmhouse was a little storage barn, and it was full of cans from where. No, I have not, because the lady that I'm talking about said, look, I have boxes and boxes. I will never use all these cans. So she gave me like 3 huge boxes of all different sizes. And I was so thankful. I gave her a jar of honey and in exchange. So I was so thankful for that. I was able to find lids, wide mouth lids. And I was kind of shocked because there was one store that I went in that had just a huge selection. A lot of the other stores only had a handful, like 2 or 3 in there, or none.
And you gotta remember, we can. You see there's some canned stuff right there. But not only do we have milk. And so milk we put in quarts every day, and that's taken up 3 to 4 gallons worth of quarts per day.
And she also gave me some gallon size,
I saw that,
and half-gallon size jars that were just. She said these you're gonna have to wash them. They have like 10 inches of dust on them, but she was not gonna use them, so she just gave them to me. So I was so thankful for that.
Hey, we're the same way. We're trying to figure out what to do with all our zucchini and cucumber too. We really didn't need more pickles. Misty made a ton more just because we had them. And then we also had I can't help it. It goes off every time. We still have zucchini staying on the table there, and Misty has made so much stuff with zucchini.
I've shredded a lot of zucchini. Well, this is my thing, y'all. I've already made several, like 6 or 7 batches of zucchini bread, which is really, really good. But I put it up in the freezer, and I told Colby, I was like, I want to start making some stuff and put up in the freezer just so when like December comes, I have some stuff in the freezer just that I can pull out like once the baby gets here and all of that. But then I started thinking, I was like, if I make it now, it's got to sit in there for like, 5 months, possibly 6, depending on when the baby comes. And so I told him, I said, I think I'm just going to shred it up, put it in the freezer, and then come like October and November, some of the afternoons when everything is kind of settled, I'm just going to pull it out and then I'll make it then.
So we have
I've shredded a lot of zucchini.
So y'all are sweating in Ohio down at Justice Acres. We are sweating down here. It's 107, 104 to 107 heat index here. Picked the last of the tomatoes yesterday. Salon Girl said there's some people just starting to get their gardens going. Our garden is going fast with this heat. Ours is too, especially with the rains we've been getting. But to be honest with you, our garden is starting to play out, our spring garden anyway. So our raised beds are really kicking on right now.
Our peas that are out there right now will literally just be our seed for next year.
That's right. So we're actually fixing to start our new sets of peas right next to the pumpkins we just planted. So let's see. Yes, we're getting thunderstorms as well.
Hey, Minty is too.
Let's see. Our gardens are just getting going. Separate 7 said. Yeah, so we're fixing to start our second set of gardens actually very, very soon. Probably this next week, which will be the second set of peas.
On putting out there?
So we don't need peas, but we have the room to grow peas. So we're going to go and start another set of peas. Now, when I say we don't need peas, we have got, how many peas would you say we have?
I spent many an hour shelling.
We have so many peas and so many beans and so forth. But we're going to go and plant because we have them. So we're going to try some soybeans for a different part of the season, some more peas, and then, of course, our tomatoes are already planted for this season too. So we're going with that too. Grammy Karen, we wish you lived closer too. So that way we could have stole some of your jars because we'd have been glad to. Let's see. Hey, Sam, what's going on? Making zucchini bread tonight, Salon Girl. Hey,
I hope that you use my recipe for your topping because the topping is what makes it.
We have some on the counter as we speak.
I actually don't think I will ever be able to eat zucchini bread again without that topping. The topping.
Hey, RV, how are you?
Topping's what
Welcome.
makes it.
Razar, what's going on, man? How are y'all doing?
I finally finished it.
That's good. I'll put the bowl over here. We're trying to catch up on everybody. So, where do you get the soybeans?
Hey, Mom, I saw you pop on too.
Okay, so we ordered 3 different places of soybeans. 2 were duds. 1 was good. So, and I don't mean duds as in bad, but it just didn't work here. So we ordered Baker Creek. Was a good seed. It did not do as much, and we only bought 1 packet because we didn't know how it would do. So the ones we got from Baker Creek, the edamame there, did fine. It just wasn't a lot of it. The second set was off a company that we're not even going to say because I don't even want to promote their name because every one of their seeds were terrible. And then the last one we did was called Soy America. It's a non-GMO organic seed, and we bought it in a sack, like 25-pound sack.
And actually, they did really good. Now, I will say that something got into our garden. I think it was Ike. I do.
I think it was a deer.
Because the day that we were. But
Ike would have ate that tall stuff. It would have been a deer.
Well, if a deer would have ate the okra and peas too, but the only thing that was ate was those soybeans. Yeah. I'm talking about 8 down. So we lost like probably half or maybe a little more of our soybeans from something eating them. I mean, the day that or shortly after we noticed on being 8 down is when I caught Ike out of the temporary fence down here hanging out with the mama cows.
So, Diana Justice Acres, you put up 500 bales of hay. Are you talking square bales or circle bales? Roberta,
either way, holy moly, that's a lot.
Roberta, I hadn't thought about putting pineapple in zucchini bread. It does make it moist. I know a lot of people put pineapple in a lot of their breads because of moistness.
I really like pineapple, but I'm gonna be honest with you.
Square bales.
Zucchini that I put in the bread, like when you see me make it on the video, when I mixed it up, it was very dry, and then you add the zucchini in there, and it really, really, to me, the moisture was perfect. But pineapple in itself, I love.
I do too. Diana Justice Acres, square bales. How many acres did you do to get 500 square bales? And I'm guessing you are selling. That's a lot of bales.
That's a lot.
We have 25 head total of cow. I mean, you know, of bulls, cows, dairy, beef, all that. So we go through, we try to set up for about 25 to 30 big bales, circle bales per year. And that takes us through. We used to do the square bales because we like them. They're
Go
easy.
take care of those chickens.
But it's just really hard for us. So, hey, Lazy C, what's going on? So we quit doing square bales and just started doing circle bales because we get more use out of them. And they're a lot cheaper here, the circle bales, and be able to, it's harder to break down.
I was going to say, they're a little bit harder to handle.
It's worth it, though, because where it takes 25 to 30 square bales to equal 1 6/8 big bale. And see, here we were buying a good quality circle bale for $30, $25 to $30, and square bales here cost $5 to $6. So it really does save us. We were
saving a lot of money.
Basically double.
But we don't have to really supplement.
Hey, Southern Bless Homestead, what's going on?
In the summer, like the winter is that's all they are.
Well, they get ryegrass too, but see, you have to be careful of how much rye cows get. So we don't put them in rye, but only in the afternoons. Grass is unique. So grass needs to dry out and get in the afternoons, it gets sweeter. So if you put cows on wet grass in the mornings, it could make them bloat and actually cause them to get parasites. So we don't put ryegrass, it could be dangerous that way.
Around 11 acres.
Not selling any. We have 4
hay burner.
Horses. That's what I was thinking. You had horses because if you're doing square bales, that's very, very common. So
I was thinking, what is a hay burner? Why would she want to burn her hay? But I get it.
They will definitely do it. So that's a lot of hay.
Hey, Miss Kathy from North Star Prepstead.
How are you? Yes, we always talk about doing hay. I mean, we have some areas we could do, but I don't know. We don't really have the equipment, and we could rent the
investment of the equipment would probably be the biggest.
Yeah, and so for us, even if we rented it, and we even offered to help guys, but for what we're saving, it's not really justified because we were going to save like $5 or $10 a bale. Well, my farm is too valuable to take $5 or $10 off a bale when I could just buy it for that. So.
Well, and it allows us to invest time in other things that are more, if it's not going to really save us that much money in the long run.
What's good is we have 2 areas over by our bees where our pumpkins were last year. They're still growing grass, and we're just going to let them grow. And instead of haying them, what we're going to do is we're just going to allow the cows to start that area in the winter, and then they'll eat what they can out of that before they start the ryegrass.
Grandma Karen says, I think the Heartland Homestead picnic is still on September the 12th. Would you consider coming to Western Kentucky in September? Ooh, that's a long drive.
It's not the fact
for us is
it's
still 16 or 17 hours away.
Well, we could get to parts of Kentucky in 10 to 12 hours, especially if we're going above our cabin, like in Bristol, right there at the edge of Bristol.
But when we were able to go to the harvest celebration, even from the cabin is almost 9 hours away, and it still took us 5 or 6 hours?
It took us 12 or 13 hours to get to Frankfort.
I'm talking about when we left for the cabin.
Hey, Miss Kathy, how are you? Yeah, I think it was.
Granny Karen, how far away are you from the Pigeon Forge area? I think it was 4, 5, 6 hours, something like that.
It's 4.
Which, if it's Western, I don't know
how far of a
straight shot.
Grand
if that would
Rivers.
Help us or
our biggest problem, and we've said this notoriously, is cows. Making sure we have somebody to milk.
Yeah,
that'd be the biggest issue. And thank you for watching us on Two Family the other day, Grammy Karen. That means a lot.
Absolutely. We actually had a really good time.
Yeah. We like to talk, so it's pretty good for us. So.
I'm sure they figured that one out. Uh-oh.
Are we there?
Okay.
We lost you for a second.
He changed the screen. Okay, you just need to quit touching stuff.
I'm sorry. Something jumped on the screen and it popped up, so I'm sorry about that.
Okay, Miss Kathy posted the exact information. Yeah, that would be the biggest thing in 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not too bad. I knew it was several hour drive for us, but Western Kentucky would be quite a bit further.
Straight up from Memphis. Okay. So we're
yeah, I think our biggest thing
3.5 hours from Memphis
would definitely be lining somebody up.
Or 4 hours from Memphis. Sorry.
It's always fun to call in. Look, I'm going to be honest. We had some really, really good questions. I was really thrilled that some people were really wanting to know more about farming and homesteading. And like one lady called in and she was asking, if I'm new to homestead, then what would be your biggest piece of advice? If I'm new to homesteading, what would be your biggest piece of advice? Someone else was asking, if you work full time, how do you manage a homestead? And because at times it can be a full time job and working full time. I mean, it was some really good questions. I can't remember some of the other ones, but just really good questions.
What's up, Sean in Alaska?
Questions about homeschooling, and I just thought it was really good. So we really enjoyed it.
Our farm touches just about everything, so I think we could try to. If we can't answer it,
we might not be experts.
That's right.
But we do have some experience.
We sure have messed up with everything on the farm, so that helps us tell you what not to do.
Hey, Southern Blessed Homestead, how are you?
Homestead and Great Business Life said we answered the horse one good.
I don't remember talking about if our daughter wanted to know about getting a horse to go riding. Well, I mean, that's something that Colby and I our anniversary is coming up in December. We've been married some long years, and we've had to sit down and hash out those, when you have 5 kids and one on the way and you work full time, and I did PRN nursing for a long time. And then you have all of the, you can't baseball, soccer, basketball with all your kids, put them in all. I mean, we just had to sit down and hash it out and decide, hey, what are we going to do? What's the most important for our family? So
it's good to see everybody on tonight.
It is. It really is.
Our rain stopped.
Well, we needed that rain for sure. We've been getting several afternoon
showers.
Storms.
It's been phenomenal.
Well, I say storms. It hasn't really been bad, but it's been some heavy rain, which after the kind of heat that we took, Dixie Stampede. Oh, that is so fun.
It's
we
fun
love the Dixie Stampede. It ain't the cheapest.
No, it's fun.
But it is
Hey Mandy, how are you?
It is it's really
we always
a blast to watch.
It's funny because we go up so much because we have a place we got nowhere now. We do like 1 or 2 little touristy things, and the rest we just spend time pilfering. So we're so used to it.
Riding the back roads and looking for restaurants in the back roads. And
we found this little pizza house in the middle of
it was
in a lot.
Amazing.
But it was really good, but it was off the beaten path, so nobody knew about it. And they like it was great. So we always try to find those complaints.
I haven't been to the Dixie Stampede in years, Miley said. It's always so fun. I think the Christmas show is my favorite.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
If you've never seen Dixie Stampede during the Christmas, it is so fun. I mean, it's just so good. I don't remember what I was talking about that rain. But anyway, we've gotten some really good rain. It's so hot here during the day. I feel like the rain just kind of settles things at night, waters everything. I mean, it's just
brings some good humidity back.
I've got to scoot over. Even your shoulders, not giving my shoulder any space.
Am I crowding you? Am I getting on your nerves? Am I crowding you too much?
Not getting on my nerves. I was just having to see it kind of catty with us.
Do I smell bad? So we talked about planning. So we're planning. We always plan. My wife probably gets on to me because I plan probably too much. But as we talk about the gardens, we've had our early spring, which was our onions, garlics, potatoes, the rest of the lettuce, all that. And of course, all those things have played out and done. We finished up, had a great season on those. Probably not the best onion season we had compared to last year, but still a decent onion season.
I got some dehydrated, and they are amazing.
So what's so crazy is now we were on our second garden, and the second garden is now playing out, which is the corn, the first tomatoes, the peas, the beans.
Our other set of tomatoes look really good.
Yeah.
Speaking of tomatoes, I wanted to hit on this a little bit because when we did our big garden, we actually said out there that we were probably going to single stem a section, let another section just go, and then single stem like just cut a little bit off here and there just to kind of see what it was going to do. But we changed our mind and we single stemmed like,
the first
I would say heavy.
Yeah, on the first set.
I would say, but we still pretty much went through and pruned really heavy.
Everything gone, but we really didn't do that to the raised beds.
So, but that's what I was going to say, boy. So our tomatoes in the garden now, our peas, beans, zucchini, cucumbers, squash, okra, everything has boomed. I mean, like, I would say this was the best garden year that we have ever had, ever. I mean, we've gardened for a long time. But the tomatoes that we pruned heavy did not do good. Not for us. You'll see people that go up and prune way up. It did not work for us. I think our humidity is too high here. Our plants got disease. I won't say that they had something wrong with them. They just did not do right. I think that they got either a fungus, some kind of disease.
But see, these are the same.
Or I don't know if it was bug related.
Like Misty was saying, though, the same ones that we planted in the same style soil, which was the compost that we used, we also used in the raised bed. Same seeds, same plants, same everything.
We didn't prune.
So we decided not to prune, other than taking the suckers
off. Initially when we planted, we would take a few of the suckers off.
And actually, we let them go like old tomatoes for a long time, where we just said we're not going to stake them. We're going to let them just kind of do their kind of buying and then stake. And to be honest with you, the ones that we let go are gorgeous. Beautiful. They really are.
Now I've had a lot of worms in those. They're absolutely
not
beautiful.
hornworms as much as we've had like caterpillars.
Right. So I've had to go through and like pick those off and smash those. Like I come in the other day and my fingers were completely green and brown from where I was.
Stacey, I just think the humidity is a little too much for us. I mean, again, I know. Let me say it like this. Yeah, I don't think it's too much. I think it's too much for people that like us that organic garden. I think if you're feeding that, if you're pruning it and then you're turning around feeding a mess load of chemicals
it just did not work for us.
I think it'd be fine. It just did not work for us.
It did not work for us.
What's up? How about you, Hank? How are you,
so
man?
Our other sets of tomatoes look absolutely amazing. They're big, they're green, they're healthy, they're putting off beautiful tomatoes. And I've picked probably 10, but most of them are not red yet, but they're absolutely beautiful.
Succession. That's our second, third sets.
So, if y'all know, we started one set, planted those in the garden. After several weeks, we planted another set of seeds, let those grow up, planted those in another section. Then we did another set of seeds, let those grow up, and then planted those. So we have the ones in the garden that are pretty much wiped out, and then we have a few more sections in raised beds that we planted that are just now growing up, giving us tomatoes to where our garden is pretty much done. But I would say out of all those, it was close to 200 plants just in the garden. It was like 170 something. So to have all of those plants, I did 17 and a half quarts of pasta sauce.
That's not enough for what we planted for the work.
And then you ate on several, and I don't think I didn't put any up in the freezer. But that's just, to me, I should have probably had triple
Sam and them said the same thing, that they tried it. It just didn't seem like it produced.
I honestly think it's the humidity.
What's up, single dad, Chris?
I think if you're organic gardening in the deep south where it's hot and humid, it just did not work for us. Right. So the ones that we left alone, besides the little suckers that we just pruned off,
have done
amazing.
Yep.
So we were real bummed about that because, we watch other YouTubers and their plants are so big and tall and beautiful, and some of them are like 6 and 7 feet
ours
tall.
Were last year. If you go back and look at those, but they were not single stemmed.
But they're all single stemmed up to where all the junk stuff is not growing up, and I'm like, oh, they're so beautiful. I want mine to look like that. And we tried it this year, and it was just a total. It just did not work here.
Now and what's so funny is we'll grow the indeterminates and the determinants, and if we let them go, like Misty had some. If you go back and watch some of our first videos,
they were.
We had some that were 7 and 8 feet tall
at the top of the greenhouse,
and so we should have just learned our lesson and not try anything else. So we tried to go the market garden style, and it just didn't pan out for us.
Work for us.
We got a lot of tomatoes, but for the amount of work we put into those tomatoes,
It
it
was
really
not
wasn't worth it. So we've let these go in our raised beds, and don't get me wrong, some need to be stood up now. But we've kind of had this approach like, hey, bump that. Let's just try it out, see how it does, go more wild. Because remember, tomatoes
So
were
we were
not
going to
meant
do
to
that
be
on a row,
straight
though.
up.
We were going to do that with the 3 rows just to see them side by side and just compare them, and it would have been easier to video and stuff like that. But we just decided to go ahead and do all of those that way, and it just didn't work for us. So anyway, I wanted to mention that to y'all. I'm glad to know that there are other locals literally like within 30 minutes
Sean
of
Alaska
us.
said the same thing. He's just doing a foot clear on the bottom, basically the suckers.
And I'm glad to know that others in the area have also done that and haven't had the best results either, because I was really upset about it because I wanted those big, tall, beautiful single stem tomatoes, and it just didn't happen. So,
but we picked Misty picked about another. There's some on the table right there.
yeah,
all those there's some peaches behind it, but all those tomatoes in the front.
Yeah. So we're super excited that everything else did really good. I have okra still coming out of my ears.
Soybeans are still going, so we got to pick those again. So
the peas have pretty much played out.
So you're gonna see us do a chop and drop method, recover those up, and then start on a new garden spot.
Yes, and we really talked a lot about that on Two Family when we were on there the other night, and really shared exactly what we do, how we do it, and did a lot of teaching. We had a lot of people very interested in that. And we cannot say highly enough about the tart method, keeping your ground covered through your season. I mean, it has worked great for us. Even the weed barrier, using the biodegradable cardboard with deep mulching system. Man, y'all, I've never seen a garden quite like ours this year. So, anyway, a yellow pear that is over 14 feet. Wow, that's huge. We have so many different varieties. Most of ours are beefsteak, brandywine. What was the other kind you liked, Colby? So we planted several different. Grammy Karen, thank you so much. She's spoiling us, Colby. We know you're our #1 fan, but you got to quit spoiling us like that. My plants were over 10 feet tall, indeterminate. My determinate plants size maybe 3 to 4. That's some really good sizes as far as growing, Sean, in Alaska. Hey, thank you for posting that link to our cabin, Mimsy. We are actually booked until mid-August. But after that, we open back up. Hey, that would be a good end of the summer getaway. We love it up there. Milking, of course, is always usually our biggest thing. Is finding somebody. Most of my beds are new this year, all raised. Hopefully next year will be better. Look, you have to start somewhere. We started off with raised beds. I have some. Let me go back. The first sets of raised beds that I did, actually none of my herbs really liked it. Several things that I grew in it just didn't do good. We actually built it up some more, added a different type of topsoil to it, and it actually allowed it to drain more. And now my rosemary, which I thought was not going to make it there, it just never grew. Ended up growing tremendously and is now as big as it's ever been. So don't give up on the raised beds. You may have to kind of tweak them or adjust them, do something different here or there, but don't give up on the raised beds for sure either. Hey, Mindful Homestead, how are you? Grammy Karen, we have gone to the Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area several Christmases, and it is beautiful that time of year up there. Pretty much everything stays open up until Christmas Day, and then you'll see everything close down Christmas Day, but we really, really enjoy it.
Some of your big restaurants will actually stay open for Christmas lunch.
Yeah, some you will be surprised. Some will actually stay open Christmas Day, but most of your local, most of your local. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Will you come on?
Try.
Grammy Karen is full of us. That's what I was telling you.
Grammy Karen, you didn't have to do that. Goodness.
I've got to get your soap. I have pulled all your soap out. If I sent it to you though,
Hey, Kinfolk Farm of Georgia.
you can't use it yet. You have to give it a
be
little bit.
Soft.
Give it a little bit longer so that it'll last.
Hey, Evans Family Homestead, how are you?
Lost Colby there. I know. It disappeared on me.
Thank you so much. I tell you what, I saw somebody talk about grass clipping.
Did you say hey to Evans Family?
I did.
Okay.
I saw some y'all talking about grass clippings in the gardens. That is one thing we can't do. We can't put any kind of seeded hay or grass clippings in the
Ours
gardens.
has to go in the compost.
Yeah, it has to. I mean, it has to age.
And it
Bahia
has
grass.
to.
If y'all don't have Bahia grass, it's great for cows, but it will take over. We've had a lot of people say enjoyed watching us Monday night. Thank y'all for watching us. We were excited to be on, and I think we had a good time. We talked way too much, probably, but we really did. So thank y'all for catching us on Two Family the other day on Monday. So that meant a lot to us that y'all watched.
How can you drink coffee this late? He drinks it at all hours.
I can drink this and lay down and go to sleep.
It does not affect him at all. And like I wake up in the morning.
Who asked that? Oh,
homesteading.
I only sleep usually 4 to 5 hours a night anyway, so it doesn't affect me a bit.
I get up in the mornings, and it usually takes me like an hour to get completely woke up.
Grammy Karen, you don't have to do that at all, for sure. Hey, I don't know if we could do. I don't know if we could do 2 lives in 1 week typically, because our kids would probably kill us. Because the other night when we were on Two Family News, their lives tend to go a little bit longer.
I had to lock them in.
It got to the point where the kids were like, "Are you coming?"
Yeah, we were on from 8 until almost 9:40.
No, we're not celebrities by any means.
It was actually 7:50 is when we actually sat down and logged on with them.
Yeah.
And then, but we didn't completely log off until it was probably close to 9:40, huh? So we were on for a really long time.
We only get on max at 8 on Wednesday nights unless there's something really crazy going on or we need to show you. But we were on Two Families.
On Two Family Homestead.
Two Family Homestead. So if you hadn't seen it, like I said, they have it on their vlogs.
Good. I'm so glad. She messaged me this morning and she said, "What do you do with the buttermilk?" And I was like, "Well, I give it to our pigs." I mean, I don't know what it would hurt to like maybe put it in biscuits or something like that, but we just give it to our pigs.
Hey, Elizabeth said that her husband drinks coffee, go to bed too. I'm the same way. It is nothing to me. And Misty, even though Misty doesn't drink coffee, and we're not really caffeine drinkers, we'll drink kombucha or I'll drink a cup of coffee, but we don't drink caffeine to drink caffeine. But it doesn't affect her either. I mean, she could eat whatever or drink whatever, she's gonna go to sleep too. So
buttermilk and all bacon. Hey, when you're in the South,
single dad, we have
buttermilk and everything.
You know, our lake sits right next to us, and we don't have catfish. We have bass and perch. So the kids want to go the other day. That was the first time we went in a long time that we hadn't caught anything. Typically, we catch. Well, let me go back and say this. It's the first time the kids hadn't caught anything a lot. For the most part, I was baiting everybody's hook and getting everybody else's untangled as each person was going. So,
what was I doing that morning? Cleaning.
I don't know what you were doing.
I was at home working.
I thought you were doing were you canning? I thought you were canning.
I don't remember. I'm always in the kitchen. I feel like I live my life in the kitchen sometimes. I am trying to get better though. I'm trying to
eat it with cornbread. Are they talking about the buttermilk? She just said she's gonna find a way to use it.
Yeah, look, I'm sure you could Google or get on YouTube and find a way to use it for sure.
Just get you a pig.
Because the only thing you're doing is you're taking the fat out.
You're having true skim.
Yeah.
True skim. We give all ours to the pigs, but again,
I actually have to pull cream tomorrow and make butter. Hey, Carly.
Mimsy used her T90 word.
Yeah,
No problem. Go ahead. Do what you need to do for sure.
I've used T90 a lot.
Sean, Alaska, we've done that too. With the buttermilk, especially if we're doing, if we're going like pan fried or something like that. A lot of people around here in the South will douse it with buttermilk before they put it in their flour. Makes it really healthy.
A lot of people
Hey,
use
Carly, what's going on?
pickle juice too.
Yeah, the pickle juice brine. I know that sounds crazy, but we've done that before, and it really tasted really good, and it tenderized it. So it's really neat. I know Carly got to come down for my dad's birthday,
See,
or
it's surprise
our
birthday.
dad's birthday. So it's good to see her too. Oh, so you're rescuing some animals, Evan's family. What are you rescuing? So there's other people using buttermilk and pickle juice. So as we talked about planning, and we had the tomato discussion. When can y'all start fall and winter gardens where you're at? I mean, is that something that y'all do? Is it pretty much playing out once you play out? Are you going to keep on yawning?
I'm trying not to. Jennings woke me up really early this morning.
Early? What is early?
Well, 6 something.
6 something is early?
I like to get up that early. Hey, we are supposed to still be enjoying our summer. We only have a few weeks left. I want to sleep till like 8.
We agree, Kim.
Pickle juice is better.
We didn't know. We've never heard that other than you taste it. To me, it tastes like you're eating a chicken on a stick or something. But
yeah, that's what it reminds me of.
We have to start our fall garden. We usually start
this year with the weather.
And we start
usually in August.
What we consider our late summer fall garden now. We're actually just starting very, very soon.
Just a surprise. They're doing a video on it. Evan's family said.
Okay, yeah. I'm
starting rooting stuff this week. When I think about having to do anything else right now, I'm just like, I think I might cry.
And this time of year for us, it's just extremely
we have to
busy.
get that Destiny broccoli.
Like, yeah, we need to order that.
Ordered.
I looked at it the other day, and I just
that's a variety. That
Stacy, you will love fall gardening in the South, especially. It makes it so easy.
It's really the easier of the gardenings, in my opinion. But we do need to get that. So anyway, we were having this discussion. The other Monday night on Two Family is we love broccoli and we can't seem to grow enough broccoli. So we've tried to grow broccoli several years in a row, we grow it, but the heads will only get like as big as my thumb, and then it's like bam, you walk out there the next day and you have these little heads, and then they bolt. So
we're just
we've been talking to a lot of locals around here. And one of the guys said that he buys a variety called Destiny. So we're going to try it this year, and hopefully
Hey, Walker Farm fam, how are you?
So that we can actually get some broccoli this year. I mean, and they grow big, beautiful, healthy, big old broccoli plants, but then they just bolt.
Stacy, we'll have plenty.
Hey, that might work, actually.
We're actually, Stacy, we'll actually have a lot of videos going on fall garden. That's our favorite.
Wait, fall gardening? That's unheard of here.
Oh, so yeah. So here, fall gardening, we could actually winter garden. You know, we'll have onions and garlic and broccoli and lettuce.
Mustard greens.
And mustard and
carrots.
Collards, all
broccoli.
That stuff. We can grow pretty much through the whole winter season.
My last fall date is the middle of November, so starting to figure
out timing. Ours is our first frost date is pretty
probably close to that.
Close
sometime
to that.
In November.
But see again, if it frosts in November,
we totally feel you, Kim.
If it frosts in October, November here,
they're T90. That's right.
It's a weird season.
We actually, what is so amazing, it's like I was saying,
we're gonna do some fall field.
Our broccoli plants grow so big and beautiful, and they will put off a ton of broccoli heads.
It's just too hot
but they're just so little, and literally as soon now I can pull off all the flowers as they try to bolt, and then I'll get some more broccoli heads, but they just don't grow like a real head should. And then like they're just flowering again. Like I'll go out there the next day and I have more flowers. And it's just a battle, like it's a losing battle.
Now,
So we're going to try a different variety this year, and we'll see.
We actually, we like the stems and the flowers too. I eat those just as much as I eat the broccoli, but we're trying to get a bigger floret.
Right. Because that's what my kids would prefer to have, is like a true head.
Kinfolk Farm out of Georgia, we're the same way. It's extremely hot, but for us, we want to get another set of summer gardening in and our corns, and then that way we'll roll right into some of our fall stuff. So.
Wow, I can't even think about fall garden. It's so hot. We are trying to go ahead and plan.
They did the Destiny too. Sam and Becky did.
It did awesome. Good. Yeah. Craig Smith is actually the one who told us that he bought Destiny from Buds and Blooms, which is a local nursery here. So I've got to find some seed because I believe that's going to be the only variety that's going to grow in our area.
Mindful Homestead, we actually had row covers last year, and we used a lot of them. But fall gardening again for us, because we don't need a lot of
it just doesn't get cold enough.
It doesn't get cold enough to use it. But we put our broccoli in an area that's not just full sun. In some areas, it doesn't get full. It doesn't get any morning sun whatsoever. And it grew gorgeous, like we said. I mean, it's 4 or 5 foot tall.
The heads
just would not set.
Do you grow kale? We have grown kale before.
We grew it last year. Actually, grew it. We're finishing up on some of the season. But to be honest with you, for us, we are not going to eat kale as a green like we would our collards or our mustard or lettuces. So we grew kale to mix with the lettuce.
Last year, I don't think we grew any this year.
Yeah, last year. I'm sorry. But for us, we just mix it with our greens or either mix it in our salads. That's really all we do. I know it's a super green, but we have so many other super greens that we'd rather eat than the kale. Kale is strong.
Kim said her cherry tomatoes just started blushing. What I want to know is how many of you guys in the chat, we have 36 on here, how many of you guys are very dedicated seed keepers?
Hey, bake a leg and let's dig it.
Keepers. How many of y'all actually work hard at getting your seed to be able to
That's a dying thing.
Dry them and keep them? And I say that because I'm on a lot of different groups, and I have seen people ask, like even with some of the fall stuff, where are you getting your seeds from this year? So-and-so is out. Do y'all have any idea where I can get this kind of seed because this company's out, or I can't seem to find any? So I have worked really hard this year I have tons of squash, tons of zucchini. I do not have a lot of tomatoes yet. I think I only got the tomatoes out of one. Making me yawn.
Hey, quit yawning.
I'm making you yawn. You're making me yawn. So squash, zucchini, tomatoes, peppers, bell peppers, jalapeno peppers is what I'm talking about. Bell peppers. I've saved all those seeds. Yep. Cucumber seeds, the peas. Now, all of those you can get right out of the fruit. First year seed saving. Awesome. Okay, so all of those you can pretty much get right out of the fruit as long as you get as much off of the seed as you can. Like when you get a seed out of a zucchini, it's gonna have a bunch of yucky junk on it. When you put them all, just let all that stuff dry off of it. Now tomatoes, you need to drop into water and get that little jelly sack off of it. If y'all have any questions about seed saving, you can let me know. A lot of my herbs, I let go to seed. It needs to go to seed on the plant. You can take them off the plant. I've also collected broccoli. I've collected all of our salads, lettuces. The only thing was the purple. Tell me the name of the purple one.
Hey, Blondie, how are you?
The name of the purple lettuce?
It was a purple buttercrutch.
So that we planted, that was one of the last sets that we planted, and it is not completely dried.
Kinfolk, Georgia, thank you so much. That'd be great.
It has not completely dried yet, so I haven't been able to get that seed. So I have all those seeds, and peas need to dry on the plant. Okra needs to dry on the plant. And like I said, I let my herbs do that as well. My dill has all gone to seed. Or they're flowering, but they will go to seed, and then I will let them completely dry out. And the whole thing, the whole plant needs to look like it's completely dead before you get the seed off. So anyway, I said all that. I have been like a seed saving crazy mama this year.
We started doing that last year, but this year we really
Our
got serious
master
about
bedroom is like wax paper all over my sewing desk, all over my business desk.
One day we're gonna do. If I believe that nobody would watch the video and try to take us,
peas and beans
so
straw on the plant.
one day we really need to do a freezer tour, a prep tour, and seed tour, and really inside the house, all the little cubbies of all the hidden stuff.
I
think y'all need to do that, but I'm scared that everybody would see all we did and like.
I do some, but not nearly enough. First year starting seed saving, and I saw somebody say, "Not me, Grammy Karen, come on now, you got to save them seeds."
Hey, it helped us.
I haven't saved many, just squash. We've never done it, but after listening to you talk about it, I kind of want to keep beans and pumpkin squash seeds. Yeah, the only thing you really need to look at is you save seeds a few different ways. So like I was mentioning earlier, okra, you can't just break it off and get the seeds out and let them dry. Okay, they're not going to germinate. They have to fully mature on the plant. The plant has to completely die, and the okra has to become completely brown and crumbly. Then you get the seeds out. However, you can go pick a tomato, cut it open, drop the seeds down. This is the way I do it. I drop the seeds.
Lettuce? Which one are you on?
I was a while ago. I was talking about tomato. Okay. I drop the seeds down in a little jar of water. I let them sit there for 2 or 3 days. Get a little mesh strainer, pour it over in there. If there's any jelly left, I just kind of rub them on that strainer. Dump it on do not do a paper towel because they will stick. A wax paper, parchment paper, anything like that. Let them dry for several weeks. Put them in some type of storage container, whether you want to put them in a jar or Ziploc bag, whatever. Just make sure they're dry. If you do get something off the plant, you need to make sure that it has not rained, because if you go out and you collect and it's got moisture in it and you put it in the bag, your seeds are going to ruin. So you just need to know those things. But if you're wanting to look for fall, I'm just here to tell you, warn you that I have already read several people say that certain things that they're looking for are sold out. So seed saving, God gives us these fruits packed full of seeds for our benefit. So y'all use those.
Few things. Elizabeth and I who said how to say the lettuce. So it was so funny is Misty had just finished up our lettuce from last year collecting the seeds. So it's gonna pot out. It's gonna make a million little pods all over that lettuce. And you gotta let it die and look terrible.
How the lettuce goes to seed?
Yeah. You leave it on the plant. You leave it on the plant until it literally looks like it's
the lettuce like is dead. You need to pull it up and chunk it. Looks like a tumbleweed. You just need to let it go. Most things are going to go from flower to seed pods that have seeds, and then the whole plant needs to completely die. It will be brown and crumbly and crispy, and then you know the seeds are ready.
Yes, Fancy Farmer, you need some rain if you hadn't had it since June. Mandy Summerall, how to save onions, depending on what kind of onions you're growing. Are you growing first year, second year, third year onions? And what I mean by that, onions are biennial. So basically, you're going to start off with a seed. That seed is going to make a small, looking like a little chive, basically, but those onions are going to be like minuscule. You'll take those onions and put them in a cold, dark room.
Tell them when, though. If you plant them in spring, when you harvest.
That's right.
How many months is it? 3 or 4 months?
It would be, probably about 4 months.
In ground.
That's right. So then you're going to pull those out and you've got to dry them. So they're going to be tiny. They're going to make little bulbs.
So some people braid them.
That's right.
If you have an attic or whatever where you would hang herbs or something like that.
Second year onions is you're basically taking that bulb and then you're planting it. That's where you're getting your bigger onions and your actual green onions up top. But at the same time, you want to make sure and say, guess what? You can take those and build them the next year if you want them bigger. So there's ways you can grow onions. Misty grew some from seed this year. We also have first year and second year onions. Our second year onions didn't do as good. So what we're going to do is take some of those and replant them come fall and see if we can even get a bigger harvest there.
Grammy Karen, I got tickled at her. She said, Graybeard is in charge of the garden. I just fuss about having to preserve it. Well, look, whenever he plants the stuff and picks it and brings it into you, you just get those seeds out.
Well, then you have
Cut
the
your
excuse to not
squash
have to preserve. You
open
can say,
and-
look, the whole purpose of these is for seed saving. Evan's family, to me, salsa that you make at home is so much better. Like you said, versus buying it from the store. It's hard for me to eat it from the store now because I'm so used to eating Misty's.
Mine is a little more, batches that I have made recently are a little bit more liquidy than I would have liked, but
our
it
onions
still tastes really good.
We probably harvested 60, 70 onions, big onions.
Stacey said my onions were small.
This year was probably, last year we had a huge harvest. This year we had a decent harvest. We're not monster onion eaters. We do usually mostly for flavors and for drying.
Love
Well,
I
was going to say, you like cooked onions. You're not just going to go peel an onion and eat it. So
no,
it's more for cooking.
But I like to put it on pork chops and chicken. I like the stuff, like y'all know that we have birds in the freezer. I like to take them and stuff onions and bell peppers in the cavity. I like to put them in potatoes. Oh, they're the best with potatoes. Y'all, onions and potatoes, they just go together like what? They're just good.
Peas and carrots. Let's see. Ours is a little spicy. Actually, Misty's not a big spice person, but she actually did that. Let's see. She makes a sweet heat. Do y'all know what the best summer crops are? Depending on your area, would be what you need to look into. We're Zone 8B. Peas do the best here more than anything.
Well, you don't need you just need, Grammy Karen, you just need like 2 or 3 tomatoes. There's a bunch of seeds in those tomatoes. Just get those seeds out of just 2 or 3 tomatoes and keep those, and then you won't have to buy tomato seeds anymore.
Claire Campbell, we go the same way. Garlic is another thing, kind of like onions. We don't eat raw garlic too much, but we cook with it on everything. So Misty started doing a lot more dehydrating. And garlic, the cool thing about garlic, unlike onions, when you start cutting to the onions, it can bulb back up, but it tends to take a long time. Garlic, you can break it down, take some of the cloves and simply make them for plants for next year. I mean, so it's a really unique thing because you can take pieces of it and not all of it like an onion. So I think that's what makes it really cool.
You know, I have not ever made tomato powder, but that is something that I am very interested in doing.
I heard people make tomato leather. I don't know if I'd like tomato leather.
I actually wanted to make a strawberry leather, but I just have not brought myself to buy any
store-bought
store-bought
Daniel and them doing
they did it with
blueberry.
a SCOBY.
Do you see them do the blueberry leather?
Mm-hmm.
It looks good too. Hey, Miss Darlene, how are you?
Sunny here in Oregon. That's always nice. Are you sure the blueberry leather wasn't that they didn't mix that in with the SCOBY, or was that?
I don't know. No, they just went and got the blueberry leather.
Okay, yeah. Several weeks ago they did something with the scope, like one of their SCOBYs from their kombucha. And he was texting me telling me that we should try it, and I was like, I don't know.
So right now our garden, as we were talking about, is starting to play out, but our pumpkins are starting to look great. We have had 100% germination rate. Every place is coming up. And then also our sweet potatoes are looking really good. At first we were worried about the deer.
Pumpkins. But not to eat. I just like the beauty of them.
It's just the time of year that we always like.
They're so pretty. The Cinderella and the blue and the gray and the white. I just think they're so pretty.
But every one of those are coming up and they look phenomenal. If you hadn't seen that video and how we planted those pumpkins, they look absolutely beautiful. Some
people dehydrate tomato skins and process them to powder to flavor soup. Yeah, and bake a leg and let's dig it said she made it for the first time and it's really good. That's something I need to try, but I kind of feel like if I stay in the kitchen anymore, I might as well just sleep there. So it's like one of those things I will eventually get to, but it's just not, I can't do it right now.
Claire Campbell says pumpkins are a sign that we might stop soon. Not here.
True.
We will sweat getting them. So.
It stays hot here. We have had
12 months out of the year.
We have had some Christmases,
in shorts
Christmas
and t-shirts.
Eves where we've been in t-shirts and shorts. But then come January and February, it's like the freezer door opened and it's freezing cold and you're miserable. I don't like cold weather. I would rather sweat.
I would rather put on more clothes and be in a jacket all year. My wife, no way.
What were you saying this spring when you could come in from milking?
I
I'm
don't
so
mind.
ready for
I don't
some
mind the
warm weather.
cold. The
I am
cold. I
getting
don't like the
sick of this
cold and
cold
rainy.
weather.
I don't
It
like
is
the cold and
too
rainy.
cold out there.
When I'm milking at 4 o'clock in the morning and it's cold and rainy and I'm soaking wet, I'm not happy. So,
Anyway, we did have a longer spring this year. Like you would go out and to
yeah, we had
where
a great spring.
normally
Actually,
here in March and April at 8 o'clock in the
98.
morning, it's already in the 80s. This year it was like 60s. So
Stacy, what about muscadines? We have one muscadine tree. We don't grow a lot off of it just because it's newer.
it's still so
We have a low
little.
grown, but never do anything with it.
Hey,
Muscadine
our two
jelly.
pears out there are like this big
I
now.
know.
We have a pear tree
this
that we
random-
planted.
We have this random pear tree that
North
Sean
Park
and
said
Kathy
so
are both
cold.
making fun of us.
Yeah, we really don't know what cold is. We really don't. It does not get below freezing much here in Mississippi at all. But see, we're used to it being really, really hot. So when it does get down in the 30s and 40s, that is freezing to us to where that's like normal temperature for y'all on a summer day. It's not to us. I mean, that's like freezing here. But I mean, kind of vice versa for y'all. I'm sure when it gets into the 90s up
they
there,
wear pants in -10.
oh my gosh. See, when it gets I'm sure when it gets in the 80s and 90s up there, that's probably like our hundreds here, and it does get into the hundreds here some too. So, it's amazing just how the climates are so different. But
it is
our
amazing.
time's almost up.
I know. So, we've got a lot of transitions. You're going to start seeing a lot of videos. A lot of videos coming out on some garden transitions, and also, of course, we have Ike going to freezer camp very, very soon. We'll talk about what we're going to do with doing we've got a good video coming out on our pigs about how we raise them and 3 things to think about. So if you're thinking about pigs, we have a good video coming out. We're probably going to do the same thing with sheep. So be looking for those videos as they come.
Sean and Lassa said they have outdoor concerts at below 20 in February. And I do have to say,
you think coronavirus would shut it down? -20 in Mississippi, everybody would stop work, period, and go home.
Yeah, if it gets below freezing here,
they cancel school at like freezing at 25. They will cancel school, and also non-essential jobs or whatever, government jobs, all that will be canceled at 25 degrees.
But I'm sure that the clothing style is totally different as well. I'm sure that
we don't have y'all's kind of jackets. I'm sure
that your type insulated clothing is a lot different than what our insulated bibs and stuff are here. I'm sure that our clothes wouldn't handle it up there. -40 wouldn't know. See,
oh my gosh,
I would be like not able to move. I would be dead.
My wife wouldn't live there.
I would not live there. You couldn't pay me to live there.
Yeah, so like for instance, that's what it is here. If it's one sign of under 30, like Sam was talking about, I mean it literally stops life here. People are not used to driving in it's snow or ice.
Sleet.
If bridges start icing, they will cancel school.
Yep. That's right.
Well, good luck with that big leg on the onions for sure.
Yes, we never have to put
short sleeves up here. I know Misty has to change the kids' drawers out. Most of the time, there's no point because it might be hot this time and cold this time.
I try to leave a little bit. I try to leave a little bit from each season just because you don't ever really know what it's going to be like. Not in Mississippi. All right, honey. I think our time is up.
It is up.
We enjoyed talking with you guys. We do have little children. We have to get to bed.
Hey, we hit 2,500, so thank you for all watching us.
Thank y'all so much.
Our goal is to hopefully keep growing because, again, we enjoy it, and really more than it, it's just becomes fun for us. We have a lifestyle of farming, so it's not anything else to throw a camera in there. So we enjoy doing it. So please just keep sharing it with your friends. It means a lot to us for subscribing.
It really does, and we always enjoy getting on here talking to you guys through the night.
That's right.
And I think that's all.
That's all. Thank y'all so very much for coming on. And I'm surprised the kids are not here. Usually by this time, the kids are like wearing out. They're probably like passed out somewhere. So.
Well, they did get new school supplies today and coloring books and stuff like that. So They're probably in there playing school, and then in a few weeks when we get ready to do school, they'll be in the floor crying because they don't want to do school. But anyway, they're entertained for right now, probably because they got a bunch of new goodies today.
Thank y'all so much again, and it does mean a lot when y'all come on and say hey to us. So have a great night, and God bless.
Happy homesteading, y'all.
Happy homestead, y'all.